Intelligent Black people. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about Katt Williams. Katt Williams he did the most epic interview that I've seen in a while on the internet. I agree with a big chunk of what he had to say, but there was a part where I'm sorry, I don't care what anybody says. I had to just say that I think enough is enough. And there's a part where he references Rickey Smiley's dead son, and and we're going to talk about what actually happened with Rickey. His son died exactly 1 year ago. And why I think that these conversations among black men who are bitching at each other on the internet needs to have some limitations to it. So get comfortable, buckle up a seatbelt. We're going to get started on drboycetv.com right now.
Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm, great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones who late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV. Here we are.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent black people. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I had to come in today on a Saturday night because apparently we are not real clear about some things involving this Katt Williams interview. The Katt Williams interview, it was a great interview. Katt Williams is very talented. He's very funny. And I agree with most of what he said. I agree with almost everything that he said. But similar to the way Cube had to come in and correct certain things involving Katt in his movie scripts, I'm going to jump in and just say that not everything that he said was cool. And I know people want to go along with the bandwagon. I know people want to just believe everything that he said was 100% true and 100% accurate and 100% perfect. But I really think that decent black folks should take note of one part that, and this got to me. And again, I don't know if it's going to get to you. Maybe people don't care. Maybe it's not a big deal. But I'm going to be honest with you. It really concerned me when Katt brought up Rickey Smiley's dead son. Now, was he making a joke about him one way or the other? It's all up to your interpretation, but he did bring up his dead son. And I checked the clip very, very carefully to make sure that this was the case, because I wouldn't be out here trying to make stuff up. And he did. And he referred to it as he said, and you wonder why people believe in rituals, right? And this was led to the later clip, which I'm going to show you guys in a second, where Rickey Smiley was on camera crying. And when he was crying, I don't know about everybody else, but that humanized it for me. I don't care. I don't know how everybody else feels, but I care about this black man. I understand the pain of addiction. I've had a lot of, give me a yes in the chat if you've dealt with drug addiction in your family. Rickey Smiley's son, Brandon, I believe his name's Brandon. I got to double check that. He died from a drug addiction a year ago. Has anybody ever dealt with that? Has anybody ever dealt with losing a loved one to drugs? Drugs are the worst thing to ever happen to the black community. Give me a yes in the chat if you've ever dealt with this, losing a parent to drugs, losing a sibling to drugs, losing a child to drugs. And a lot of people don't know also that Rickey Smiley's daughter got shot during a road rage incident. Now, I think she survived, but still, I mean, so here's the deal. I'm going to be 100% clear with this, and I'm going to confuse a lot of people. Small-minded Negroes need to leave the building. If you are on Katt Williams' nuts and you can't hear anything that disagrees with your perspective, then this is not the place for you. It is totally fine. There are a million places you can go. I don't ride nobody's nuts. That's not my job. I'm a grown man. But what I will say to you is that there are points where you have to say that enough is enough, that the little bit that it's off limits. I don't believe, no matter how pissed off you get at another brother, I don't think it's cool to be bringing up somebody's dead child in order to make your point, as if your point is the only point that needs to be heard. I'm not a fan of that. So let me play the clip for you, and then we can kind of talk about it. And I know people are going to disagree. I know some people are not going to like it, and that's okay. I'm used to that. But I'm gonna just tell you, at the end of the day, man, y'all got to chill out with this stuff. You know, these are real people. These are real human beings. So let me play this clip. And those of you that are on Instagram, you can actually hear the clip. You won't be able to see it, but you'll hear it. And those that are on Spotify, this podcast is on Spotify, you'll hear it also. And hit the thumbs up button. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Here we go. Now I want you to listen carefully, because I had to deal with people that said, "You're lying, Dr. Boy. You lying. You making stuff up. You hating on Katt. We worship him now. You can't be." I ain't making it up, dude. It's in the fucking clip. Pay attention. Let me stop. I'm being silly. It's Friday night, so I'm loud. All right, here we go. Let me play the clip. Listen.
Knows this, and I don't know why.
There we go. There we go. Wait, hold on. This stupid thing is so slow.
Knows this, and I don't know why he would lose a child and come on the air and start lying. That's why people believe in rituals right there. It's because, well, why would he lie? I don't know why liars lie. Rickey Smiley.
Now, give me a yes. Did y'all hear him reference? This is for all the people who said, and this is it's so funny. I said, how are so many people telling me that he never brought up Rickey Smiley's son? Did y'all hear him say, I don't know how you can lose a child and then go out here lying? And then he said, and then we wonder why people believe in rituals. Give me a yes if you heard that, because I think we need to help the hard of hearing Negroes who want to believe that it never happened. Let me play it again so you can hear it. I'm gonna hit this button. Hold on.
Knows this, and I don't know why he would lose a child and come on the air and start lying. That's why people believe in rituals right there. It's because, well, why would he lie?
Okay, so here's what bothered me about that clip, and this is why, Katt, I'm sorry, man. You know, I don't have no problem with you, but this was not cool. I'm 52, just like you. We're grown-ass men, and I think that out of just basic decency and respect, his son ain't got shit to do with your beef with him. Let's just be clear. And people wonder why I would be talking about this. I had a guy who said, well, this is not a financial topic, Dr. Boyce. Why are you even talking about it? Well, number two, two reasons. Number one, I'm not a finance professor who happens to be black. I'm a black man who happens to be a finance professor. So I pay attention to everything that happens in the black community, because whether you know it or not, it affects your family, it affects your culture, it affects your community, it affects your economics. That's the first reason. Number two, if you listen, if you have economic consciousness, like I've been talking to you guys about on this platform, give me a yes if you're following this. You will know that this whole conversation was all about economics. This conversation is all about economics. Why? Well, why would you say that, Dr. Boyce? I'm glad you asked. So here you have a comedian who's talking to Shannon Sharpe on his independent platform about how these other comedians have done him dirty and how they're all fakes and they all get opportunities just because they were industry plants, or they bent over and took it up the butt, or they were willing to kiss a white man's ass, whatever it was, right? We're going back, and it's really kind of weird. I'm sorry. I have to apologize to any 20-year-olds to 25-year-olds who are watching this stuff, because I think, honestly, it would be kind of weird for me to be 25 watching a bunch of 50-something-year-old men talking about shit that happened before I was born. I'm sorry. We can't talk about what we're doing in 2023 and 2024. We're going to talk about some shit that happened in 1998. Well, when I was on the Kings of Comedy, they did this. But when I did the movie back in 96, Ice Cube, I'm sorry, Ice Cube comes on here. Ice Cube got gray hair. You know, he got lines under his eyes. And they talking about a movie they made when they were damn near teenagers. They were 24, 25 years old when they made Friday. And you wonder why Chris Tucker didn't want to go through life and be 60 years old, still known as smoking weed on the porch with his best friend, because you're not a kid anymore. Why in the world do we have so many black men on the internet right now in their 50s still living their glory days from the 1990s? You got to move on. You got to grow up. There's a new generation now. They deserve to have their time. You had your time. You were the man in 1999. You were the man in 2004. Good for you. Now we got people that were born in 2004 who are 20-year-olds who are like, okay, my turn. And we're like, no, boy, no, son. So, boy, let me tell you, boy, about what happened back in 94. This is when I was with Method Man and MC Light, and we was making real music back then. Now, the shit y'all doing now, boy, that ain't no good. That stuff we did back in the 90s. Now, that was some real hip-hop. You need to stop that, man. Seriously. You really are the elders in the community now. You really are God. You are grandfathers. Look at these men. Look at these men that are arguing in these debates. Steve Harvey's 66 years old. Katt Williams is 52 years old. Now, 52, that don't mean you're done. You know, I got energy. I go to the gym. I stay as fit as I can stay, and I do. I'm strong. I have more physical strength in my upper body now than I did when I was 25 because I go to the gym every other day. Absolutely. But I'm still 52. And you have to understand These older guys got to understand you got to make space for younger people to do their thing too. You know, and so my feeling when I'm watching this interview is I'm like, how long can a Negro hold a grudge? Like, how long are we supposed to just die with the grudge? Like, am I really supposed? Again, I'm not. I like just so you know, I like the Katt Williams interview. If y'all follow me, I've done over 22,000 episodes of my podcast in the last 10 years. And y'all, if you know anything about what we do here, you'll know I've spoken about all that. I've spoken about the sacrificing and the coonery and the buffoonery and the selling out and everything else. I've been talking about that for a long time. So I get it. I get all of it. I understand. I overstand it all. But at the same time, I also understand a little bit about this thing that we don't discuss enough in our community called mental health. And I also understand that there is what they call the infantilization of the black man, meaning that you're kept as an infant, where you got 50-year-old teenagers running around beefing like they are 17 years old. And I don't know about anybody else, but I'm going to just tell you, I don't think that normal people in the community really like it. I don't know. Give me a yes or no. How do y'all feel? Do you like to watch grown men fighting like children? You know, seriously, white boys over there, they're inventing artificial intelligence. They're building rocket ships to Mars. They're running the government. They're building billion-dollar corporations. And I'm arguing with Cedric the Entertainer about a joke that I think he stole from me in 1999. Are you serious right now? You stole a joke from me 25 years ago, and I still can't sleep at night because I feel like I got done dirty. Let's be clear. Maybe he stole the joke. It looked like he did. I looked like he, looked there in the spaceship, and I'm like, oh, that's right. That's Kings of Comedy. That's that thing they did a whole generation ago. That was that tour they did way back when I was in graduate school. And I ain't been in graduate school for a long time. So I'm sitting there trying to understand why we have older men that are obsessed with things that happened 25 years ago. I don't think that's healthy. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, black people. I know you don't want to hear it. The interview was amazing. Katt Williams is brilliant. He's so funny to listen to. He's clearly a member of Mensa. His IQ is very, very high. I can identify smart people when I see them because I like to believe that I might be one of them. And so I give him all of that. But the other part of me, if I was his friend, I'd say, have you done anything in the last year that you want to talk about? Like, where do we go from here? Where do we? And the thing is that what you got to understand is that for people that didn't understand why I was so obsessed with the conversation, because this is my peer group. These are men that are my age. I'm interested in the conversation, not just because it was a great interview. And I'm super happy for Shannon Sharp, Club Shay Shay. Good for you. We need more black-owned media. I've been talking about that. I'm also interested in it because here's the deal. The reason that you have all these black men fighting each other over who gets the most opportunities is because basically you're comparing your success to one another by who gets the most favor from the white man. Think about this. When I say I'm better than you because I got more Netflix specials than you, well, who's running Netflix? It ain't a brother. Ain't no black people running Netflix. It's a white man with a black wife. So basically, remember, I talked to you guys about this today. You have in economics, you have the peasants, and then you have the gods. If you saw the movie Clash of the Titans, anybody else see Clash of the Titans? In Clash of the Titans, you had the mortals on the ground, and you had the gods. You had Zeus and Athena, and they were moving the human beings around like chess pieces. So most of y'all, a lot of y'all little niggas ain't nothing but chess pieces on the white man's goddamn board. That's what y'all are. Your chess pieces. They decide, that nigga's an industry plant. Well, yeah, because somebody planted him. So one of the economic gods, I'm talking about the gods who run Netflix and Warner Brothers and all these institutions that we refuse to build because we refuse to have the patience to build our own. It's because we decide the white man's ice is colder. So literally, the one of the economic gods decides, I like that boy over there. He bent over for me in the office and he got on the casting couch. Let's move him over and make him a star. I like that Negro. He served me well. I'm gonna change his life because I'm white and I can do these things. So I'm going to grab him and move him around and give him bragging rights over the other Negroes. well, this Negro, he got too big, so he thinks he's a god, and he's not a god, he's a mortal. So we need to knock him down a couple notches to remind him that we decide how big he's going to get. Because there's a ceiling in here. There's a ceiling to how much power you're actually going to be allowed to have. So honestly, and the comedians are all brilliant, by the way. They're all brilliant. But really, when I see comics fighting over who took a joke or who got a movie deal that somebody else should have got, or who wrote the script versus who played the pimp and didn't play the pimp, I see it as a really weird, awkward clown fight. It's a clown fight. And when you're the clown, you'll never be the king. You might be the king of comedy, but you'll never be the king of people. In fact, the white man is not just the king, he's the kingmaker. So the king of comedy, or the king of whatever you think you're the king of, there's somebody who's the kingmaker who's deciding whether or not you're going to be the king. And if you don't act right, they're going to flick you off and they're going to find somebody else to replace you. Why is that? Well, because you never took the time as a community to make the long-term sacrifice required to build and develop your own institutions. And when you did, when you had those, your ancestors had this. Your ancestors had their own institutions. Booker T. Washington was building his own. That's how he built Tuskegee. He ran Tuskegee. That was his institution. He decided what was going to happen in that school, and Booker T. Washington said it. Y'all that you let these school systems teach you that Booker T. Washington was a big sellout and an Uncle Tom, and that integration was the way to go. Well, Booker T. Washington had his own shit. Booker T. Washington wasn't looking for people to give him opportunities. Booker T. Washington was an institution builder, and you've had builders in your community, but you let go of your own institution so you could try to integrate into someone else's system. And there are very few people in this world that are more oppressed, that look more ridiculous, that get bent over the table more than Black people trying to fit into white ass Hollywood. You're literally a guest in somebody else's home, and they didn't even invite you into the house. They got you sleeping on the back porch, eating dog food, and you bragging to the guy next to you that your dog food bowl is bigger than his dog food bowl when both of y'all eating like puppies. So I'm not saying this is not about Katt or Steve Harvey or whatever. I mean, these guys make money. They're very funny. They're very good at what they do. But I just really didn't understand it. I did. The interview wasn't bad. The interview was great. It was really entertaining. People like beef. Beef sells, right? That's why Shannon Sharp's platform is going to really grow. There's going to be more beef that's going to come out of this and all that. And I get all that. But really, I want you to understand what you were looking at. And here's the thing. You got to be really careful, because people start throwing low blows at each other with this crabs in a barrel nonsense. And next thing you know, he's bringing up this man's dead son. And now some of y'all, I've had some people argue with me. Dr. Boy, he didn't bring it up. He didn't bring it up. No, he did bring it up. I just played the clip. Go listen to the clip, please. Go to the beginning of the video. I played the clip where he mentions his son. Well, he wasn't making fun of his son. He wasn't. I don't give a shit what he said about his son. Just bringing him up and then bringing up and saying you wonder why people wonder about rituals. And so you're taking something very serious. I don't know if anybody's ever gone through this. Maybe you haven't gone through the loss of a loved one. Maybe you imagine your sister just died from a drug overdose, or your mother died, or your son just died, and you got to hear somebody that's beefing with you on the internet referencing your dead relative to make their point. Look, I'm sorry, Katt. I think you could have made your point without talking about his dead son. Rickey Smiley's dead son, Brandon, and he had another daughter that got shot. Well, she actually got shot. Brandon died from a drug overdose. What the hell's that got to do with anything? And so I'm just going to say this. Look, in most wars, there are rules. The mafia has rules. No women, no children, that type of thing. Right? Or we're not going to come get you at church. Whatever, just something that's sacred. And here's the thing. When you have a crabs in a barrel environment where they done created this little cage, think about this. The only 3 areas where Black men can become wealthy and successful and powerful in America on a large scale, there's 3 areas that the economic gods, which is the white man, allow Black men to become prominent and successful. 3 areas. And I want you to go through the internet and pay attention. This is a financial consciousness exercise. Sports, comedy, and rap. Sports, comedy, and rap. They literally ghettoized you. They created a little ghetto. They said, okay, the niggas, y'all can have sports, you can have comedy, you can have rap. You can be the baddest football player in the world. You can take out as many Negroes as you want on the football field, but you keep it on the field. You take it off the field, we're going to lock you up. Comedy, you can make jokes about black people. You can attack black people. You can get on stage and call yourself a nigga all day long. There's no problem with any of that, but you step outside of those boundaries. If you try to, if at any point you try to think of yourself as anything other than a clown that exists solely for our entertainment, we will slap you down and we will put you back in your cage. Rap, you can rap about violence. You can rap about killing as many black people as you want. You can rap about drug addiction. You can rap about disrespecting your women. You better not disrespect ours, but you can disrespect your own all day because we don't respect them either. And we will not only allow you to do this, we will pay you extra money so you can sit and beef with other black people about who's the king of rap. I'm the king. I'm the best. No, it's Jay-Z. No, it's on the. That's what you get. That's all you have. But you step out of those boundaries, we're going to spank that ass and remind you that of the child that you actually are. You will never be the king because you are always the clown. You exist for our entertainment. That's why the majority of the celebrities that you look up to in the black community are athletes, rappers, and comedians. They can dribble a ball, throw a football, dribble a basketball, bust a rap, or tell a joke. That's all they're able to do. Scroll through the internet, and when you see celebrity names, I want you to look at how many of them are entertaining white people for a living. Now, over there on the other side, they get to do all kinds of stuff. They got Elon Musk over here making rockets that are supposed to go to Mars and driverless cars and artificial intelligence. They got the CEO of Apple over here making iPhones that you're gonna buy next year. They got the people running Microsoft that are developing AI systems that are gonna take your job. They got bankers. Bill Ackman is replacing the president of Harvard University because he's got the money to do that. Right? They're doing all kinds of stuff. You are arguing like children at the age of 50 over who's the king of comedy. That's the biggest conversation happening in the black community right now. And I can't even talk too much. I can't talk too much about it because I'm in it. I'm in the conversation. So maybe I'm also brainwashed too. We're all affected by this. But I'm just going to say this, black man to black man, leave that man's son alone. Katt, that was wrong, man. You could tell it. If your goal is to win, you won. You did it. You killed it. Good for you. But at that point, your goal should be to show that you are a decent person and not a scumbag who's gonna kick a man while he's down on that level. Because the enemy is not Rickey Smiley. The enemy is not Steve Harvey. Your enemy is not Cedric the Entertainer. Your enemy is the person who created the environment where they got all y'all fighting over scraps. That's the enemy. The enemy is the fact that there's not enough room for every talented black person to get an opportunity. Why? Well, because black people don't own the source of capital and distribution that allows us to create the spaces where we can go do what we're going to do. Most of these movies that y'all were in that defined your careers and made you great are not controlled by you. Even our buddy Ice Cube, who I like Cube a lot. He was on this platform several times. Nothing negative to say about Cube, but I was stunned when I found out that a movie as iconic as Friday can't get remade because Warner Brothers, the economic gods at Warner Brothers, are holding the keys to decide if the next Friday is going to get made. So they're the ones who get to decide if Money Mike is ever going to come back, if Rickey Smiley is going to play the Santa Claus. And to me, that should insult you. Because you can't name a single space where white folks are sitting around waiting for a movie to get made, but they got to get black people's permission to do it. Am I right or am I right? You tell me one example where they're sitting around, where the Jewish community sitting here saying, gosh, we want to make another movie about the Holocaust, but we just can't because black people won't allow us to make this movie. And they're just so racist. They're just so mean to us. That's just not right. They don't have to live in that world because they get something that you're still learning about. We're still learning about this, which is this thing called freedom. I don't see any freedom. I just honestly in the interview, I saw an angry man who is very intelligent and creative when it comes to describing his anger, and he does it with comedy, which allows it to sink into the subconscious mind more effectively. He and Dave Chappelle are both geniuses because they can say things that other people can't say, and it gets received in a different way because they tell it as a joke. They are masters of their craft. They've gotten very good at what they do. I have nothing against these men. I respect it. But what I will say, though, is at the end of the day, I was sitting there and I was watching the interview, and I was like, you got a lot of bones to pick, and you're mad at a lot of people. It must be tough carrying around all that anger, first of all. And then I was thinking, like, who should we really be mad at? If I destroy Rickey Smiley and ruin his whole career and prove that he's less than me, and then kick him while he's crying over his dead son, like, yeah, motherfucker, you deserve that, you little bitch, right? And I'm just literally bringing up his dead son in reference to rituals, so I can make a point that will further diminish his father's legacy. What did I really win? What prize did I really get? Because to me, Rickey Smiley's not the problem. The problem is the institutional barriers that they keep black men in a space where you have to fight over scraps. And you're so limited in your opportunity set that you got to get mad at the next black man because he got an opportunity that you thought you should have had. He got a movie role that you thought you should have got. So you're mad because maybe some of them had to bend over and put something in their mouth in order to get the job. I think it's all appalling. It's all horrible. Right? I'm not sending my kids to Hollywood. I got a little girl that's an actress. I ain't sending her nowhere near Hollywood. And if she does go there, I'm going to be right there with her because I'm not letting you get on nobody's casting couch. My children are not for sale. My kids are not for sale. Y'all selling your kids to these damn people selling you fake dreams out in California, fake dreams that will never be realized for 99.9% of y'all, but you sell your children up the river, just like you got the parents in Chicago that were selling their daughters to R. Kelly. R. Kelly didn't do all that by himself. People were delivering their kids to R. Kelly. And you keep on doing this because you don't understand what power actually looks like. You don't know what freedom looks like. I talk to my youngest all the time. I'm like, no, all this stuff, this being in movies, that's cool, but you can make your own movies. You can actually go other places other than LA, because LA is a weird place with lots of like orgies and drugs and crazy people, and I don't want you in the middle of that. I don't want you to win the world and lose your soul. I don't want you out here as one of these successful actresses who's been in every single movie, but is ready to kill herself because of what she gave up in order to get there. You got to figure out who you are and know that you are the prize. And I don't care what anybody else says. I'm gonna say this. Look, I don't agree. I'm gonna tell you like this. I know for a fact Steve Harvey does not appreciate me very much because I've been very critical of him. So I'm more on the Katt Williams side. I agree with him. I don't, a lot of what Steve Harvey does, I'm not with it. I don't understand why you're out here. If you wonder why if you are taking relationship advice from Steve Harvey, no wonder your relationships are in shambles, because there's nothing in his track record that says this man is good at relationships. He's got wisdom, though. He's not a stupid man. But what in his 3 divorces or whatever the hell he's got, what is in there that makes you think that this is going to be good advice? I know therapists who are relationship therapists who understand the theories on what it takes to make a relationship work. So why are you not getting the science from the scientists, but instead you're getting the science from the comedians? No, you go to the comedians when you want to joke. You go to the comedians when you want to laugh. But when you're trying to figure out how to make life work for yourself and how to make the right decisions, you don't turn to the wrong people. And then even in the financial space, I saw people turning to rappers for financial advice. I don't understand that. Rappers are probably literally the worst people on the planet when it comes to economic decision making. They rap about how stupid they are when it comes to money. 90% of them do. Why in the world would you want to listen to financial advice coming from somebody just because you like their album? No, you're a rapper. I come to you for rap. You're a comedian. I come to you for jokes. You're a football player. I come to you when I want to learn how to play better football. I'm not going to get all the advice in the world. Yeah, like people will literally turn to celebrities in those 3 key areas, those 3 little areas: sports, hip hop, and comedy, and get advice on everything. You will hear a comedian or a rapper give you advice on how to raise your children, and people will give it 10 million likes and followers. But a therapist will be giving you advice, somebody who's trained on this topic, and people will walk right past it. I'm not a fan of any of that. I think that just generally speaking, part of what I see is a lack of maturity or what you might even call anti-intellectualism. I had a guy, the NBA player Kwame Brown, who for some reason was deeply offended by the fact that my platform is for intelligent black people. He thinks that me calling black people intelligent is somehow being uppity, and I'm sitting here thinking, like, do you think that calling black people ignorant, you think that us being ignorant is a good thing? Like, no, I want you to be intelligent too. What's wrong with you? I didn't understand this. But he did all these videos. I didn't watch any of them because I don't listen to chatter on the internet. And I just thought it was the most baffling thing in the world that someone will be offended that I want us to try to do better, be smarter, and make better decisions that are going to create better lives for ourselves, because a lot of our lives are shit. When you're copying the entertainers, your lives fall to shit. Your relationships ain't shit. Your kids grow up, can't halfway read. You're struggling. The white man's got his foot on your neck financially. You got to try a better pathway for success. These celebrities ain't it. They're just not it. So I'm gonna summarize with this. I'm gonna play. Actually, let me play. Hit the thumbs up button. Thumbs up, share, subscribe. I'm gonna play this clip one more time. Let's go back to Katt and Rickey. And again, my general premise is that Katt Williams could have done a great interview and been very funny, which he was, without even mentioning Rickey Smiley's dead son. I think he should have kept his dead son's name out of his mouth. Period. I don't care if you even bringing it up, just so people will know. This man's your enemy. His son ain't got nothing to do with it. So I'm gonna play the whole clip because I want you to see what happens at the end. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I got kind of touched when I saw Rickey was crying, and I kind of get it, because the thing is that there are people on the internet who are just mean as hell and don't give a fuck. Trolls will go out of their way to say the most vicious, vile things they can possibly say. And one way I cope with it is that, first of all, I'm a mentally tough person. I've dealt with mean white people, mean black people. I had a mean father, so it doesn't bother me. And if it does, I don't even read the comments. So if you are a troll and you're here to say something mean, just know I don't even have on my near vision glasses, so I can't even read your trolling ass comments. So you're kind of wasting your time. If you go do a video, just so you know, I might see the thumbnail, but I block those things out because I don't believe in absorbing negative energy. But I will say this though. Two things. Number one, if you are a person who creates a YouTube channel, you do something online, be really careful about internalizing people's comments, because there's a coldness there. There's a coldness where somebody will die and people will make fun of the fact that your loved one just died. Like you'll put up a heartfelt post and say, I want to say goodbye to my mother and you meant everything to me. And there'll be somebody in there that'll say some vicious shit because they're mad about something you said a year ago. And I just think that's terrible, right? But that's the world we live in, right? And I would say to all decent people out there, just remember, these are human beings. Rickey Smiley is a human being, and again, maybe I'm sensitive to it also, just because both of my fathers were on drugs. My biological father and my stepfather. My stepfather walked away from drugs. That's how he was able to raise me. My biological father, I didn't know the man. I didn't know him all the way through the day he died, and so drugs have taken a huge toll on the black community. And Rickey talked extensively about how he worked with his son. He tried his best to help his son get on his feet, help him get away from the drugs, and he lost that battle. And I'm gonna tell you, when I saw this grown man cry, I kind of said, okay, time out. It's like, okay, time out. Okay, you made your point. You won. KO goes to Katt Williams. Good for you. Now, I think maybe a decent thing to do would be to apologize and say, you know what, I meant no harm. I don't agree. We have our issues, but your son has nothing to do with that. To me, that's what a decent man does. I don't think Katt's going to do it. I don't think Katt gives a damn what I have to say. I do know people that know Katt Williams, so maybe he'll see this. But I'm just going to say that I think that as decent people, we have to have rules, because what's going to happen now is that because everybody sees that Katt's interview did so well and he got so much attention, right? So many people are starving for attention. You're going to see other people trying to basically outdo what Katt did. They're going to be nastier, meaner, more vicious toward each other. And I don't know about you, but I don't enjoy seeing grown-ass men, grown-ass black men, 45, 50-year-old men beefing back and forth on the internet like a pack of bitches. I just don't like to see it. I just don't. It's not interesting to me. All right. So anyway, let me play this clip, and I'm gonna play it through its entirety because I want y'all to see what I saw and what led me to do this conversation. All right, here we go.
Knows this, and I don't know why he would lose a child and come on the air and start lying. That's why people believe in rituals. Right there is because, well, why would he lie? I don't know why liars lie. Rickey Smiley knows this.
Okay, so enough of that. And then I guess somebody comes in, they hear him crying, they ask him if he needs anything. Um, Again, I'm not really. I have no idea how some of you are going to feel about this. All I'm asking is that as we rejoice in this extraordinary interview that Katt Williams just gave, I hope you'll remember that there's human beings behind this, right? Like you talk about somebody's wife, you talk about somebody's kids, these are real people. And people have talked about my wife and stuff like that, and me and my wife, and things that were not true or whatever. And we just deal with it. We don't care. We both kind of know it's stupid. So we laugh about it. So don't worry about us. But I really think in general, we have to really sort of, I think, police ourselves. I think all of you who believe in decency should kind of say, look, man, you ain't got to talk about his child. That's a 12-year-old, or his mother died. What's his dead mother got to do with the fact that you don't like him because you think your rap songs are better than his rap songs or whatever? I mean, I think that with Katt, I think that Katt bringing up Rickey's dead son and then you wonder why people believe in rituals, you're kind of reducing his dead child or incorporating that with the ritual idea. You're laying out the idea, right? People are absorbing this idea that maybe it was a ritual. Maybe that's what was going on. Maybe that's, and I just think it's dehumanizing him and dehumanizing his family. Now I get it. It comes with the territory. I'm sure Rickey Smiley is a big boy. Sometimes you got to break down so you can build yourself back up and get back out there again. But I'm speaking to you all on this because I think that the same way Katt Williams is holding everybody else accountable, I think he should be held accountable for this too. Accountability should be a two-way street. Do you understand? Accountability has to be a two-way street. You hear all the time on the internet people saying, well, we're just holding you accountable. We're just holding men accountable. We're just holding women accountable. Well, hold yourself accountable, damn it. So start there. Accountability starts at home. Like, where are you holding yourself accountable? I agree with a lot of what Katt had to say. I liked what he said about Hollywood. I think Hollywood is definitely a debaucherous place. I think that there's a whole lot of horrible, racist mistreatment that occurs in Hollywood. And I think that as a result of that, you do have so many of these scenarios where people get elevated to the top because they did things that were highly unethical in order to get there. That certainly should be called out. But then at the same time, I think there's some accountability that has to be addressed. And really the truth of the matter, because I when I talked to D1 about his issues with the other rappers, the first thing I said to him was, I said, yeah, well, the real enemy isn't Jim Jones and Meek Mill. The real enemy is the industry that creates the environment within which some of y'all have been separated, Willie Lynch style. This ain't nothing but Willie Lynch 101. That's what Willie Lynch, that's the whole idea, right? We're going to take black people who would normally be friends and get them fighting over scraps so they'll kill each other so we ain't got to do it. So the whole time Katt is just, ethering all the other comedians. I mean, just killing them one after the other. There's these executives sitting back with their hands clean and saying, I don't know why these Negroes do this to each other. It makes no sense to me. That's what they do. That's what they do. So at some point after you finish taking out your brother, I think you need to go deal with the person who created that whole environment that caused you to make your brother into your number one enemy. Because I don't care how much the competition happened. I don't care who did who wrong and who took whose joke. I don't believe that Steve Harvey and Cedric the Entertainer and Rickey Smiley are the greatest adversaries of Katt Williams. I think it's really just it's much bigger than any one individual, right? So that's what I'm saying, right? So let's play chess. Let's stop playing checkers. Let's stop, gang banging on each other and then acting like that's the solution to everything. It just doesn't lead to any progress whatsoever in our community. That's what I'll say to you. Okay, so I'm done. I don't have anything else to say. Thank you for listening. Hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. Tomorrow morning, we're doing our financial consciousness training. If you'd like to join us, you can join for free. Bring your whole family. One membership pays for the whole family. So it's buy one, get 5 free. Just go to drboyceelevate.com. That's drboyceelevate.com. Every morning, we do financial reflections from a workbook that I have called 30 Days to Wealth and Power. And so, for example, tomorrow, what we're going to cover is ways that luxury companies like Louis Vuitton trick you out of your money. And what we do every day is we fill out the reflection so that we can understand what our financial plan is going to be going into 2024, and also understand where you are in terms of your money mindset. Because what I want us to go from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. If there's abundance, if there is enough opportunity for everybody, then you won't see anybody fighting over limited opportunities, because there'll be enough for everyone. And so what I wish for a world where Cedric the Entertainer can get to the top without it, feeling like he has to take a Katt Williams joke, if that's what indeed happened. I want to see a world where Katt Williams can be at the top without feeling like he has to ether all his competition in order to get there. I want to see a world where Steve Harvey can do his thing and be on his radio show and do Family Feud and be cool with that. I want to see where Rickey Smiley can go and do his radio show and have that be okay. There's some issues obviously that has to be addressed, like, this consistent thing about Black men putting on dresses. That is a problem. That's an issue. But then again, if we have our own industry, if we develop our own infrastructure, if we have our own distribution channels, then nobody has to put on the dress. Everybody can just be who they're going to be. And that's the world that we should be living in, not one where we got to wait for some permission from other people. Okay. So anyway, that's it, guys. So if you want to join us for class tomorrow, you can go to drboyceelevate.com. That's drboyceelevate.com. Also, if you'd like to get profit alerts of stocks that I'm buying, things like that, just text the word stock to 89748. Text stock to 89748, and I'll send you some stuff. And also, don't forget, this podcast is on Spotify if you want to find it there. Well, have a good night, everybody. God bless you. I will see you soon. Take care now. Peace.
Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones who late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, 1010. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV. Here we are.